Here we go. So in the 30, 60, 90, everything is relative to the short side. So we're going to refer to that short side as x. The hypotenuse is twice the short side. Therefore, 2x. And then the longer side is the short side times root 3. This will always be the case. And again, this is what makes the 30, 60, 90s attractive for people who use them, because it's basically, you just do the same thing every single time. So let's take a look at 5 and 6. Number 5, we have a 30, 60, 90. What does the 3 represent? Again, here's the question you need to ask. When you have a 30, 60, 90, you have 3 sides to consider. Short side, long side, hypotenuse. What do we have on number 5? We have the short side. How does the hypotenuse compare to the short side? It's twice of it, right? So, what does that make my hypotenuse? 6. What does that make my longer side?
6 radical 9.
No. 3 radical 3. It's the short side times root 3, so 3 root 3. All right, if you look at number 6, you have 9 root 3. Which side is that? That's the long side. So how do I find my short side?
9.
Yeah, it's just 9, right? We ignore the root 3, so it's just 9. And if my short side is 9, what does that make my hypotenuse? Okay, question on 5 or 6. Okay, so look at number 7. What are we giving on number 7? We're given a hypotenuse. But before I can find anything else, remember, everything is back to the short side. So whenever you're given, you always have to get back to the short side. So how do I go from my hypotenuse to my short side? Divided by 2. So I just keep it as a fraction. 11 over 2. And then your long side is what? It's just whatever your short side is times radical 3. And when you multiply by the radical with a fraction, you just put it on top. So it becomes 11 root 3 over 2. And remember we talked about mathematical grammar? This is one of those grammar and punctuation rules. Just put the radical on top of the fraction. Okay, take a look at number 8. What are we given on number 8? 12. What does 12 represent? Short side, long side, hypotenuse. It's the long side. Okay, and I need to get back to, we'll do this here with our magic pen. I need to get back to the x. How do I get back to x? Well, how do we find the length of the long side? The long side is the short side times. Okay, so how do I solve for x? Divide by radical 3. All right, so now I've got x is 12 over radical 3. What do I do? Rationalize the denominator, right? So we're going to take the radical 3, move it top, whatever's inside stays below. 12 divided by 3, 4 root 3. So that gives us 4 root 3. Now guys, any questions on that part? Now I'm going to ask you to think grade school. Don't think numbers here. Think objects. What does 4 root 3 actually mean? I have 4 what? No, it's not 4 plus root 3. I have 4 radical 3's, right? And if the hypotenuse is supposed to be twice of this, well, if I have 4 root 3's and I want to double that, how many does that give me? 8 root 3's. So when you're multiplying by that 2, you're only going to multiply the coefficient, not the root. So we get 8 radical 3. That's it. Let's do a little bit more practice.